Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a blessed day at whatever time you're listening to this. And this video will be about the biggest problem people have nowadays is that they think they shouldn't have problems. And they think there shouldn't be any problems, which couldn't be any farther from the truth. And here's why. Problems cause you to grow, cause you to move, cause you to find solutions, find more efficient ways of doing things, increase your understanding on certain things. Problems are key for the world to keep going in the right direction, for you to keep going in the right direction. There's no such thing as there's no problem, because there is always a problem. It just depends on if you could see it. You know? Problems are easy to cure, but impossible to see at first. But when you don't take care of them, they become impossible to cure and easy to see. That's something that is that's my turn on the Niccolo Machiavelli quote he has in the Book of the Prince. Because it's very true. Excuse me, I just drank some water. But it's very true. Problems are tricky from many different angles, especially depending on the problem. But right now, sir, I'll go back to the point I first made. Problems are good. And problems are good because they cause you to act. They stop your stagnation. Because when there's a problem, something needs to be done. You got to do something. You got to move. And then you think about, with all the problems that have occurred in your life, have you not come out better after being in the eye of the storm of the problem? After getting out of the problem, after the problem passes, after you find a solution, you've most likely come out better than you were when you first entered it. Because the problem probably tested your mettle. Made you probably learn some things about yourself. Made you learn what you're good at. Something you probably found out something you're good at. Something you're capable of. And then you found out somewhere where you need some growth. Maybe the problem happened because you couldn't spot there's an area of growth area that you need to grow in. And the problem grew from that lack of awareness you had. But now you wield the awareness to know where you were lacking, where you needed improvement. And now you've improved upon that. At least hopefully. I hope you have for you. And looking at problems positively, something that's cool about problems is, aside from a problem that's caused from a loved one's death or something of that ilk, something you can't control, or most likely didn't have any control over. 90% of the problems you're going to have in your life are all your fault. They're all your fault, which is perfect. Most of the problems I have in my life currently are all of my creation. You have no idea. Every demon you see around you, every demon you have, his inception began in you. It comes from you. That's your demon. You created it. That's your problem. You created it. But now what's perfect about it is it gives you the opportunity to act, to show yourself what you're made of, to show yourself that you can be there for yourself, that you can fix the things that you cause, which also leads into accountability. Accountability is very important. As most of you probably know, most people you know lack accountability. They lack the ability to hold themselves accountable. And a lot of that stems from the lack of understanding, lack of awareness that their problems are of their creation. Some people can't believe that they were the reason they got fired. They would have never guessed it. They would never guess in a million years. And that's their problem. And that's why they repeat it over and over and over again. We all know that person who's always losing their job, going to the next job, saying, oh, they did this. They left that job. You ask them, hey, what happened to that job, man? Why'd you leave it? What happened? Why'd you get fired? It's always someone else's fault. It's always their manager's fault. It's always their coworkers who are hating on them. I'd bet a lot of money that could have been the case maybe at the first one, but not the second one, not the third one, not the fourth one, not the fifth one. Accountability is important because accountability allows you to see where you went wrong, take responsibility for it, and move on. So I teach special needs behavioral kids, and we always go over accountability every single day. And what we have them say when it comes to accountability is, when you make a mistake, you own it and you fix it. That's very simply what accountability is. What you can do to be accountable. Make a mistake, you own it and you fix it. And you move on. But you make sure you take that responsibility. Because if you don't take that responsibility, like that person who's on their fifth job because it's everyone else's fault, you're untethered to the world. You're no longer grounded in reality. Because if you think the world's working against you, the only person who's working against you is yourself. The world will work with you if you work with the world. So accountability is very, very important. Your worst sin is that you have betrayed yourself for nothing. And that's what it is when you have a problem, that you won't acknowledge the problem that you caused. And now because you don't acknowledge that the problem is something you caused, you don't fix it. Now that betrayal you have done to yourself, you can't even grow from it. You can't even right that wrong that you did to yourself because you don't think it's your fault. Problems are important to have. They push you. They cause you to transform. They cause you to evolve. But they only do if you acknowledge them. Acknowledge that it is you that created this problem. Think hard on it, because you'll know when it's not your fault. But it's rarely things that really aren't your fault that happen to you in your life. Aside from the most obvious things, which I said previously, somebody dying in your family, a loved one, or like your house gets destroyed in a storm or tornado, some type of natural disaster hits. But those are the outliers. Throughout your day-to-day life, everything you do has an impact in the waves of time and space. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you understand everything that happens to you is because of you. Positive, negative, or indifferent, neutral. So when you have problems, don't even look at them as real problems. If anything, it's an adventure that's just begun, because it's a chance to prove yourself to yourself. It's a chance to improve yourself. It's a chance to see what you're made of. It's a chance to see new things, have a different experience. So you gotta think about it. Each and every time you came out on the other side of a problem, you're so much better for what you did, for what you went through. You know? The scars you get from previous problems become the same things that remind you not to do the same thing again. Become the same thing that remind you of what you've done. And also that it shows you of where you are now. How far you've come. What you've gone through to get to where you are right now.